Hey y'all, welcome back to the Busy Vegan Mom. I'm so glad you're back. Be sure to hit the subscribe button if you have not already subscribed. That way you don't miss out on any of my plant-based inspiration. Wanted to share with you the video suggestion that I had recently got that it would be nice if I shared with you guys how I afford this lifestyle and what does it look like when I go shopping, for instance, like how much do certain foods cost and stuff like that. So I figured what would be most ideal is because I am someone who utilizes Instacart. If you don't have that where you're at, it's just basically I put all of the groceries in a cart online and from my store, the store of my choosing, and they're delivered to my house. It's easiest for me. I am a mom, a single mom who works a full-time job as well as a part-time job as a yoga instructor, and then I have my YouTube channel. So it is ideal for me and ends up being cost and time effective for me to use Instacart, and it actually saves with the monthly cost that it is to have my groceries delivered. So I figured it would be best if I showed you guys like what I pay for a week's worth of groceries. And so generally it's around like 60 bucks for a week's worth. Now, if I'm having to buy, stuff that normally costs a little more, but it's gonna last me longer, for instance, like maple syrup. I use it in all of mine in Berkeley's, like oats, in a lot of my beverages, in baking. So it takes a little bit longer to go through that. And so but that tax on like $7, might as well be 10 because I get pure maple syrup. So I shop at a store called Aldi's, which is similar to a Trader Joe's. It's just a place where, because of the way that they do business, like for instance, they don't have plastic bags. You pay a quarter to get a shopping cart, things like this. Like they have an eco-friendly, hi baby. Because it's an eco-friendly type store, it allows them to mark some of their prices down. And so you can get your produce for cheaper there. So I will buy my staples from there, which is like my oats, my produce, most of it. I can get most things, or a lot of things organic there. My staples from that particular store that are more or less expensive than buying them at a different store would be things like my potatoes. Now, I like to go by the Clean 15 and the Dirty Dozen, which is a list, and I feel like it changes all the time, and I feel like there's different versions of it. So it's tough to say, but Clean 15 is like the 15 foods that are safe to buy without an organic label. And then the Dirty Dozen are the foods that you should always, when possible, buy organic. Now, because if not, there's a higher risk of them being like super sprayed with pesticides, things like your leafy greens, which is your kale, your spinach, your broccoli, apples, I know blueberries, and then a lot of your grains, which I've just recently learned about the grains. Before, I didn't realize that they were sprayed as heavily. And so I've just recently come back into the habit of buying my oats organic, which you don't have organic oats at the place that I was just sharing about. So I'm going into all this to tell you that buying organic is obviously more expensive. So I pick and choose, because you don't have to buy everything organic. It'd be great to eat everything organic, but it's not necessary, and it's good to wash everything off to reduce the amount of pesticides that you may or may not be consuming. You don't know. But so the things that I can't buy from my grocery store that has the stuff for least expensive, and since I get the groceries delivered, I get those from another place, and that's called Natural Grocers. It's way more expensive. However, everything there is organic. And if I find it helps me save in this lifestyle, if I am picking out things online, choosing like, okay, this, instead of going in the store and being in this overwhelming abundance of beautiful fruits, veggies, and things that say, plant-based and, teas and health foods, like if I stay away from that, I'm less inclined to buy and splurge. And so, and I've had to, train myself over the years. It's not always been easy. I've hit some pain points where I spent way too much money, and it was like pinching pennies, So I've from everything that I would spend on food and on this lifestyle, so it's all about balance and learning. And but I've been in a really good place here lately where I do well with figuring out how much I need for the week and knowing that what's not a necessity. Like I love to make my turmeric drinks. If you follow me on Instagram, you've seen me post those often. Like I love to make those, and to make that, you don't have to buy the fancy golden milk bag. You just get you some ground up, turmeric, and I like to make my own oat milk. Is it a necessity? Like, could you buy it cheaper? Yeah, and I did that for a while to save money. But I like to make mine out of my oat milk powder, which I'll include a link for that if you guys want to try it out. Joy Oat Milk. It's like super healthy, all organic, one ingredient. And so like there's things like that are more of a luxury, but I find over time it's almost like they're a necessity. I'm gonna probably keep pausing and it'll keep skipping from point to point because Berkeley keeps coming in here. I'm gonna keep this a shorter video.
I can see the zombies.
You see the zombies? I'll show you some footage of what I got when I did my order from Natural Grocers, which is the higher end grocery store, which is where I can get certain potatoes organic. Like, it's good to buy your potatoes organic. You don't have to necessarily buy sweet potatoes organic. So I like to get a good amount of those because they have big purple ones there and I haven't seen those anywhere else. There's things like rice ramen by Lotus Foods that I really like, and sometimes they'll have those marked down on sale and I'll grab those then. And so, yeah, I mean, like, this lifestyle is absolutely even way less expensive than if you were eating meat and eggs and whole milk and all that, because that stuff is way expensive. But it's if you eat whole food, plant-based, that this lifestyle can be inexpensive because you're just buying the whole foods. And if you're buying in-season foods, which is the way nature intended, these foods will help you be at your greatest and highest self and help your immune system stay nice and strong and keep you well and balanced during that season, and they're cheaper. So buying in-season foods is not only amazing for your health and wellness, but also for your pocketbook. So eating a plant-based diet is cheaper all the way versus eating the carnivore meat, eggs, blah blah blah. I don't know what to call it. Just eating the opposite of this is more expensive. But it's when you start buying the processed stuff like the vegan cheeses and the vegan meats and the vegan ice creams and all that, it's way up there, so you're going to be spending a pretty penny. So if you're not eating that stuff, you're going to find that this can be a very manageable way to live in regards to finances. So that's just been my experience. Again, it's when you start to buy all the little fun things and the things in the packages and stuff like that the price starts to go up. But if you're just buying full whole foods and you're buying only what needs to be bought in organic if you can, and then not, you don't have to buy everything organic, just like what's labeled on the list is the current list of the Clean 15 and the Dirty Dozen, then you're going to save a little bit. And buying in bulk when you can, buying certain things in larger amounts, like that's not always necessary, but I know that tends, like for oats, like we go through so much oats. I finally bought a big bag of them and I know those are going to last me for a while. I'm trying to think of something else. And so like with rice, like it would be way more cheaper. If you're able to put in a little more effort, you can save even more money in this lifestyle. Like if you just bought a big thing of regular rice. For me, like I don't like how it tastes when I cook rice versus when I buy the individually cooked package of rice, which is more expensive, but it tastes so much better like that to me for some reason. And I feel like it takes so long to make rice sometimes, but you have to put in a little more effort to save even more money. So for me, time is money sometimes. I work all day. I'd rather do something easy and convenient. So sometimes I just won't even buy rice because of that reason. Because I know once I start eating it and I think it tastes so good, I'm going to keep wanting more. And then so if I just like stick to potatoes and this place has lentils in a can with no salt added, the nice grocery place. And so I've been getting those lately. Those have been nice and they've been on sale. So that's been great. So it's like finding little bargains with foods that you like and finding nice little condiments to spruce it up. Like I've been loving putting spicy mustard on stuff lately. It's so good. And then of course my Yellowbird sauce. Oh my gosh, if you want to save on some sauce, I will leave my discount code below so you can try any type of the hot sauces. They're so good for you. Awesome. But yeah, it's all about eating the whole foods and sprucing it up with some sauce, and then you'll be okay, but if you're able to be home and not, at work at a job all during the day, it's hard also, even if you're home with kids. So it's just like learning how to get into a groove, batch cooking things when you can. And it's really helpful that my youngest daughter eats the same way as me, because then like we just eat all the same food. Now my oldest daughter it's a little different. Like this weekend, she's gonna be with me and I'm gonna order special foods that she likes. Because when she's with me, she will eat plant-based. She doesn't eat red meat, so kind of semi-vegetarian, but not. She'll still eat chicken. And so I'll keep veggie nuggets on hand. Now, Berkeley and I don't keep processed food like that in the house, but when Big Sissy's here, we're gonna accommodate her and I'm gonna get her any type of plant-based food that she wants because I'm happy to be able to provide her that type of food. And get things like carrots and broccoli and stuff like that, and potatoes, and she likes vegan butter. Even though I don't use vegan butter, I'm gonna have that here. And she can put it on her potatoes. And so it's just kind of like compromising, you know? And yeah, it is possible to do this lifestyle and do it in a cost-effective way. And again, for me, it's about $60 with a couple fees here and there on food for just Berkeley and I a week. And when I get stuff from the other place, so with that stuff will last me 2 weeks normally. The little batch that I get from Natural Grocers those groceries, the fancier groceries, should I say, the specialty groceries, those will last us about 2 weeks. And so that normally runs between 80 and 90. And that's not stuff that I have to get. That's stuff that I have because I have completely cut out drinking Starbucks coffee. I have, like, that's been several months now. The only reason if I had any was because somebody gave me a gift card. But like, I have been managing my money and budgeting a lot better. And so it's been really easy for me to be able to put extra money into things like groceries or food items that we like until we get to spoil ourselves with some nice specialty items. And so that bill from the nicer place, the more expensive place, I don't know what to say, between 80 and 90. And that's why I don't go in the store, because if I go in that store, it's money will be spent. And so I stay out of the store. And then from our other grocery store, about 60 a week. So and the other staples from there are like apples, and you can get organic apples from Aldi's and stuff like that. I mean, stuff that it's just the same. I always hit when I go to Instacart and I go to order, it's like buy again. I get it the same thing. I'll get some frozen fruit. You can get frozen fruit there for super, super cheap. Organic frozen fruit at that. Frozen broccoli, 99 cents for a bag. You can't beat that. So I'll stock up on all that. Of course, I've started eating it fresh again because it tastes so much better. And then starting to get that organic. So it's just like, it's like, so if I'm buying, more fresh, then what do I need to save on in this category? So it's like, hopefully that makes sense. So this lifestyle totally is doable. That's how we make it work for us. But it was not an overnight matter, that's for sure. There's been plenty of times that I have overspent. And I think with experience and stuff like that comes wisdom. And so now I can just offer my experience and hope that it helps someone. So yes, this lifestyle is affordable. Where there's a will, there's a way. It is cheaper to eat whole food plant-based than it is to eat meat, eggs, whole milk, any of that. Real talk. Real talk. Berkeley, say real talk. Real talk. Thank you for sticking around for another one of my videos. Hit the subscribe button if you have not. Hit the like button if you made it all the way through. Leave a comment and share with us some of your, with me, but Berkeley's here too, and she'll be right next to me when I read the comment. Share with me some of the ways that you save in this lifestyle. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you again. Love to you always. Bye.